This is a yelling podcast. From poking at you to plans and everything in between, this is Magnified Pod, the only podcast that discusses culture, religion, politics, and the entire discography of everyone's favorite left coast punks, MxPx. And we're back after a break.
Yeah.
Off last week, taking care of some things, doing the damn thing. You had... I'm Andrew Phelan, one of your hosts.
I'm John Potter, your other host.
That's right. And this week we are at Magnified Studios West.
That's right.
My apartment is Magnified Studios East. It's but the West Studios a little bit more high end.
Yeah, my basement is cushy AF.
Yeah, it is. The digs are a little bit nicer. It's got that central air.
Yeah,
we're not
nice.
Sweating to death.
Right.
Completely miserable the entire time. But John, last week you had some fam in town. You had a monumental birthday to celebrate.
Yep. Elliot, our previous pod guest, celebrated his 4th birthday, so
You were
big day.
Throwing down.
That's right. Yeah.
It was
just going nuts.
It was popping off.
There's a water slide, inflatable water slide involved.
Nice.
It was wild times.
So how big was it? And was it only suitable for the smaller party guests?
I mean, it's still in the yard. We can check it out after this. See what we think.
I'm only learning about this now.
I have a feeling it would deflate were I to attempt.
Crumple under the pressure
Yeah.
of our ample adult-sized bodies.
Yeah.
So, John, as we are waiting for our goodies from Kickstarter to start rolling in, there is no shortage of MxPx related stuff still going down.
It's true.
The latest in the MxPx sphere is Anchor Valley Wine. Started by Mike and Holly and Joe Moxley. They got this Anchor Valley Wine. They currently have what looks like 3 different styles. They got a Pinot Noir, a Pinot Noir Rosé, and a Pinot Gris. And they've already won double gold for maybe one of their... Yeah, the Pinot Gris. It's a double gold winner, 2018 Oregon Wine Competition. I
mean, I wish the names were MxPx related, obviously.
Yeah.
I think Pinot Chacha. I was really trying to think of a poking at you pun.
That's, yeah. It'd have to be like PX Gris.
Yeah, that's better.
Or something like that.
Lost opportunity here is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, they might need to think about some. We probably could have come up with some more puns if we had thought about that. But
I mean, if they send us like a case or two and they want us to review it, like we're still happy to do that.
I would be very pleased to hawk this wine.
Little SpawnCon, sponsored content, as we say in the biz.
Nobody says that.
I promise people say it.
SpawnCon?
Uh-huh.
Really?
It sounds cool, right?
No. Well, yeah. No. Cool as hell. But all that to say, we are down for some SpawnCon for that double gold Pinot Gris, that PX Gris.
Let's get some.
That first one's free.
You're welcome. I think they really should have done, one of the Kickstarter options should have been like a wine tour with the Herrera family.
That would have been a good idea. Yeah. They could how about some the best of wines?
There you go.
There we go. If we're gonna do a little shoehorn it into this episode's album, which we will get to.
Pinos within Pinos. Not good either. Give me some time.
Okay,
Come up with some good puns by the end of
throw
this.
down by the end of the episode. We'll have some more Anchor Valley wine MxPx related puns. But for those of you who are jumping on this into this episode, we will get into the plans within plans, track by track, later in the episode. But we have a lot of topics to get through.
Do we want to plug those remaining Texas dates?
Yeah. We got Dallas coming up September 7th. MxPx tickets still available. Austin these on September 8th. Get your tickets and hit up those shows.
When is the Chicago show again?
Oh yeah, that's
That's never? Oh man. It seems weird.
It seems weird. Those dates, waiting on those dates, anxiously waiting on that vinyl, my PX Punk. I'm struggling. I am emotionally struggling over here.
Got that CD though.
I did get that
Looks
CD.
good.
Yeah. Where did I put it?
Right
yeah,
there.
I ordered this separately off the website when everything was started to put up for everybody who didn't back the Kickstarter. And I thought, you know what? I need to get that CD. I need to have every MxPx CD available. So it was nice to have some MxPx mail coming in. Yeah, and it's sort of like it is a very kind of DIY package. This is probably one of the most minimalistic releases
I dig it though.
I've seen. Yeah, but it's clean. It's straightforward. I like the PX Punk on the head spinning on the disc. Even though I wish I could see it spinning around.
In your house.
Be there. So also latest MxPx news. Mike was it just today? Threw up that playlist.
Oh yeah, I think so.
His own
Spotify.
His own Spotify playlist. So playlists like this. So 37 songs, 2 hours 7 minutes. Of
Like an average MxPx album length.
Burn.
JK.
Mike being put on blast.
No man, he agrees with me. There's a lot of really good stuff on this playlist. We were saying the only one we really took issue with was the Eagles.
Yeah.
Which I just heard that they surpassed Michael Jackson as selling the most albums of all time, which is just wrong.
It is wrong because what have the Eagles done for us lately?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Hell froze over like 20 years ago now.
I mean, Hell Freezes Over came out in 1994.
Wow.
Long Road Out of Eden. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, not into it. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
No, but
the rest of the playlist, however.
Yeah. No, the rest of the playlist, you got some Joe Strummer, Descendants, Beatles. Got to throw a little MxPx on there. Menzingers, all about the Menzingers.
Kanye.
Got some Kanye.
Which validates our frequent Kanye mentions on this pod.
Yeah. Got some Bad Religion, Millencolin.
Smoking Popes, hometown heroes for us.
That's right. Yeah. Got some T-Swift on there as well.
Hey, I'm down.
I have no problem. And then Mike threw on Passenger Side by Wilco.
More Chicago love.
AM, probably. I don't know. This might be controversial, but AM might be my favorite Wilco album. I love AM so much.
It is really, I think, man, I don't know.
What?
Probably Yankee Hotel is still my favorite.
Sure. Yankee Hotel, Foxtrot. There's nothing that album is amazing, but I think the Wilco of the early years was very much a kind of in that alt country vibe, which
Right.
I can understand why Mike would have
Totally.
that lean towards that album.
I came a little bit late to them, so that was like when I was super into them. And I know people like being there in AM were real important for people earlier. So
Yeah, Summer Teeth and the Billy Bragg. The Billy
that's
Bragg
awesome. I
albums,
love those
those
records.
two records are really, really solid. And you gotta shout out Wilco, Little Chicago Love. So everybody should check out Mike's playlists like this
Yeah.
on Spotify. Some solid jams on there. So last night, you got to experience one of your all-time favorite artists
it's true. Yeah,
live for the first time in.
Well, this is what's a little complicated. We were talking about it before. So, Dave Bazan has been playing as a solo act for the last 14 years or so. And he's played Pedro the Lion songs as part of his sets, but usually they're solo acoustic songs and or solo acoustic sets, and he goes kind of back and forth and lighter on the older Pedro stuff as he's gone on, obviously. So this is the first time in a while that he had a full band. He had old school Pedro songs. It was at Talia Hall in Chicago where the sound was awesome. They had this super cool light show, which I hadn't seen lights like that at a Bazan show ever probably. And yeah, he just sounded awesome. So it was really cool to hear these older, my voice is blown out because I was singing along so loud. But yeah, just a lot of these, older late 90s, early 2000s, full on rock songs performed live. And then Bazan stuff, he's leaned more like keyboard heavy and loops and stuff over the last couple albums, but to have that reimagined in a rock context, and yeah, it just was awesome. So I'm all about Pedro and this Pedro reunion for the Stewart, and they're putting out a new record as Pedro for the first time next year.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So at first I was a little bit like
original people, or is it just mostly?
No, well, so that's kind of part of it. There really wasn't anybody that was like part of the Pedro band besides him. The most consistent other member was this guy T.W. Walsh, who he played with on Achilles Heel and Headphones and in that era. But he's kind of doing his own thing now. He produces a lot of Bazan's records, but yeah, so I think it's just kind of players that have come in and out. I'm not sure exactly who's playing on the new record, but yeah, at first I was kind of like, is going back to the old brand what he should be doing? But it sounded awesome, and I'm into the like rock angle that they're going for with the sound. So
did anybody open up for them?
Yeah, whoever she was really good. And I'll find it shortly.
Local, I can vamp here for a minute.
Yeah.
Do you know if she was a local Chicago person?
She was not.
Okay.
H.C. McIntyre.
Okay.
Kind of an alt country thing. It sort of reminded me of like
solo or
she
band?
had a full band behind her.
Okay.
But I think she's kind of a solo act. But kind of reminded me of like an early Nico Case kind of thing.
All right.
But she was great.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. So yes, Bazan, my hero, which transitions naturally to your hero.
My hero. So this episode is coming out on Monday, the 27th. And it is on that day that one of my heroes, Weird Al Yankovic, is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That's right. Trump loses his, Al gains his.
That's right. Damn right. So at 11:30 a.m., Al will be getting his star. So if you are in the area, 6914 Hollywood Boulevard, across the street from the Chinese Theater, and so it's free. You can go. So if you're listening to this on Monday and you live in the Hollywood area and want to go celebrate Al getting his star on the Walk of Fame, you unequivocally need to get up from your chair at your job and go there right now. That's because right. I cannot. But here's the thing, because with this comes a feeling of frustration and curiosity as to why it took so long for him to even get a star to begin with.
He's been a king of Hollywood for a while now.
Some might even say the original kings of Hollywood. He was rolling around, top down, listening. Anyway, so he's been making music since 1976.
Yeah.
Over 4 decades in the music industry. He's won 4 Grammys, has 4 gold records, 6 platinum records, a star of film and television, countless voiceovers, and he's been, who doesn't, he had a #1 record. His last album, Mandatory Fun, was a #1 record.
That's right.
And I don't understand how so many people have been awarded the star before him. So from what I understand, anybody can nominate somebody for getting a star. And I don't know why nobody would have nominated him.
There's a lot of questionable people, aren't there?
Yes. Okay, so this is the thing. There are people who have stars, and I'm not saying that they do not deserve them.
Sure.
These are people, actors that I admire, some of which they're definitely Hollywood powerhouses, but do they necessarily deserve them before Weird Al?
Like Shrek? I think his is deserved. I'm just looking at the list. Yeah, Shrek has one before
What?
Weird Al.
That doesn't even make any sense. Why? How does
Godzilla has one.
are these? Well, okay. That Shrek, that is embarrassing. But here's an example. Mm-hmm. So Daniel Radcliffe got his at the age of 26. He got his in 2015. Mm-hmm. So obviously he's an amazing actor outside of Harry Potter. He's and not just the Harry Potter movies, but plenty of other movies. He's done a lot of Broadway and theater too. So he's so great. Scarlett Johansson got one 6 years ago. Chris Pratt.
He's already got one?
He's got one. Chris Pratt has one. You know, I don't understand why some of these people, like Melissa McCarthy, come on. And I'm not saying they don't, but
Sure.
I'm just like Vin Diesel, for Christ's sake. Come on, Vin Diesel does not deserve a star before.
Don't add us Fast and Furious fans.
No, he just doesn't. But but also Mark Hamill just got his last year.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on down there in Hollywood that Mark Hamill and Weird Al have taken this long to get? How did Daniel Radcliffe get one before Mark Hamill?
I'm not suggesting that the process of star acquisition is flawed, but perhaps the whole thing is a little stupid.
Yes.
Is all I'm saying.
It is. And this is not one of those things that is actually worth getting upset over in reality, because I'm super thrilled that he's, even if it's not even a big deal in the big scheme of things, I think it's amazing that he's getting his star, and he's being recognized for his contribution to the arts. But all this to say that in me looking up a lot of this, there is clearly some questionable. It's all very questionable how this is all determined.
We're gonna crack this thing.
We're cracking this wide open. We're getting to the bottom of this.
This is a new ongoing segment. So
Yeah.
buckle in, people who are mad that we don't get to MxPx talk.
Yeah, this is going to be the Hollywood Walk of Flames, because
Dang.
we're going to be.
Spitting so much hot fire.
It's right. It's some truth bombs.
Every time we're in the middle of some random segment, I'm like, it's amazing that somebody's listening to this. Like, when are they going to get to MxPx? Like, you don't expect us to talk about the Hollywood Walk of Fame star process on this podcast? I don't know what to tell you.
This is what people subscribe for.
This is the good stuff.
This is the
guys.
quality content that people expect from Magnified Pod Studios West.
Exactly.
So we're gonna do, since we're so amazing at transitions here at Magnified Pod, we're gonna do a pretty hard transition from Weird Al Hollywood Walk of Fame to talking about mental health, because it's something that is very significant to me and important in my day-to-day life, moment to moment. And it's also sort of a thread that you can tie through many MxPx albums to varying degrees.
Yeah.
But
I remember you saying that early on in the show, and I was kind of like, yeah, I guess so. But I didn't know, as I've said, the last 3 records before the new one super well. But I think it's really consistent in all 3 of those. He gets into that stuff a lot.
Yeah. And especially on Plans Within Plans, it becomes kind of clear that this is a topic of importance to Mike and a pretty significant source of writing for him. Mm-hmm. So I felt like it's something that I wanted to be a little bit more transparent about. And for anybody who follows me, my personal Instagram account knows that I posted something about mental health last week, and it's been something that it's for many years is something I've been dealing with, from some pretty severe anxiety, panic attacks, depression, and I don't want to ever feel like it's not something we should talk about, because one of the things that I did was suffer in silence for way too long, and it's so not worth it. I just sort of tried to make my depression and anxiety the normal rather than try and find ways of dealing with it. And so I know that there are probably some people out there listening who wrestle with this stuff on the daily, and I want us to be kind of a community of people who can support each other through this kind of thing. So I wanted to just at least share a little bit about me to normalize this. And so, back in, I don't know, maybe like 2008, back when I was still kind of identifying as a Christian, I was having some kind of anxiety, and there was a situation that I think maybe induced a little PTSD from a circumstance of somebody who was living with us at the time who was abusing alcohol in a kind of a serious way, and it really messed me up for a little bit. And so I was trying to deal with some of that, and I went to this therapist who did a form of therapy. He's a Christian therapist known as theophostic prayer. John, are you familiar with the concept? Yeah. So it's essentially a kind of a way of addressing past pain and past issues by inviting Jesus into the memory of your experience, to have Jesus heal you in that experience. So I was at this time also still really struggling with my faith, trying to be like, I don't know how to pray, and so to be involved in a kind of a way of dealing with my mental health through prayer that I had a hard time with, it really, I ended up leaving feeling so much worse. And then I didn't go back to therapy for like another 4 or 5 years because of that. And during that period of time, I just got significantly worse. And I didn't take any medication. I think I tried once and I didn't like it, and so I didn't try anything again. And so I suffered for like 5 years trying some more holistic things, and I got steadily worse until I reached a point where I was having panic attacks at work and couldn't function. I was calling off work because I couldn't barely come to work without freaking out, and so I ended up going into therapy, getting on some medication, finding the right medication, and feeling somewhat normal for the first time in a long time. And I know for some people medication is something they would prefer to avoid, and I wanted to avoid it as well, feeling like I don't want this to be the only solution. I want to try and find ways to navigate this without drugs, but at the same time, nothing I was doing was working, and I wanted to be able to function and be okay.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was medication, and I needed it because I was an absolute mess. And so for the past 5 years or so now, my panic attacks and anxiety have steadily decreased, and I'm not as much of a mess as I was. And so, but the other key component of that is finding the right medication is important, but the right therapist too is super important, and trying to decide like what you want to get out of it. And I don't think that was abundantly clear for me what I wanted to get out of it. And so the therapists that I saw were ultimately not helpful, and I was not making the most clear-headed choices in that time. And so ultimately I stopped seeing one therapist, started seeing another one who was encouraging me to continue this sort of way of thinking that I was sort of detrimental. And so I stopped seeing him. And then I didn't see anybody for like a couple years. And I am not I've recognized recently, this is very recent, that I've recognized that I'm not a person who shouldn't be in therapy. I need to always be in therapy because I can't handle things on my own. I can take a medication and that can help, but I have a thinking problem. I have a way of not, I have a negative self-image. I don't have a baseline positive foundational sense of self-worth. So if I can't start from feeling good about myself, I don't know how I can rationally or emotionally make healthy choices for myself if I don't feel any sort of love towards myself.
Yeah.
So and there, being in therapy too, I have this desire for people to like me, and that has carried over into therapy, which is not helpful.
Sure.
I don't need my therapist to like me.
Yeah.
I need my therapist to help me.
Yeah.
But I have this fear of disappointing people and letting people down, and I can't let that be the way I function. Because I'm going to disappoint people,
Right.
and I hate it, and I hate doing it, but I need to make choices and that are good for me and good for my family, and I don't always do that because I seek validation and approval from other people, and that is not always a good thing
Sure.
when you're somebody who doesn't feel good about
Yeah,
himself
right.
ever. So there are times where I've recognized I have not given the full picture of my mental health to the people that I've seen, and there's some things that have come to light for me in the past couple weeks that I'm starting to wonder if there's a bigger thing going on with me that I haven't known because I haven't really pieced all of my symptoms together. So, I mean, I'm not one who really wants to speculate about, or self-diagnose or anything, but there comes a point where it's like, I want to bring this up to my therapist and be like, hey, this is something I'm wondering, can we look at this? Because there's no winning if you are being dishonest about your mental health to your mental health provider.
Sure, yeah. Right.
You're not going to win. That's not a winning formula. So some of the symptoms that I've been writing down and taking notes on are some of the main symptoms of borderline personality disorder. And this is something that in seeing the symptoms all kind of laid out, I was like, this makes a little bit more sense than just anxiety, because that's what I've thought. That's mostly what I have. That's mostly the issue. But when you piece together a lot of my other actions and ways of thinking, it's like, okay, maybe that's a little bit bigger than I recognized. So this is part of one of the reasons I feel like I'm glad that we had a week off last week, so I was able to kind of start addressing some of these bigger issues that I have going on.
Yeah.
And but I'm trying to make healthier choices, be a more honest person, and trying to be a better person. And I want people who are listening to feel supported by us, and that we're in this together, and that there are people who can help. And so yeah, feel like it's kind of all I want to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think being part of this community has awakened some of the stuff that I used to feel about. Wait for it. There we go.
Sorry. Healthier choices, like drinking beers.
Cracking a cold one open. Yeah, just that punk was such a thing that was so formative for us, and having felt a little bit removed from that world for a while, it's been cool to be a part of this community and connect with other punk fans. And it does feel again like the community that we had in the scene is felt with the way that we interact with people now. And it's really cool to kind of feel like we are sharing a lot of our stories with each other. It's so cool to get people's stories. So thanks for sending everything in that folks have sent in. And I think this is part of it. I think your honesty and frankness and vulnerability is admirable, and I think people will hear that and recognize it. And we've taken that same posture when it comes to our faith experiences and experiences with whatever family and culture and things. And I think this extends to that. So yeah, we're all kind of in this together. The only thing I would really add is, like, I mean, I certainly resonate with a lot of what you were saying. I have felt at times like, I mean, I've alluded to the fact that I've spent a decent amount of time in therapy on this podcast before. And there have been plenty of times where I've thought that I had traits of what I recognized as depression or anxiety. And usually when I've talked about it with my therapist, it's like we were kind of able to name it more specifically. And usually it's more just this feeling of being overwhelmed, like being overwhelmed. My wife and I both have really busy full-time jobs. We got 2 little kids. It just feels like this constant kind of heaviness. And with the help of my therapist, I was able to kind of identify, she talked about this book, The Highly Sensitive Person, which there's this whole kind of way of thinking that's grown out of that book now. But really what we discovered was like, I'm super introverted, which the book Quiet, when it came out, was really like mind-blowing for me, because I think a lot of characteristics that I thought were specific to me were just like, oh, I'm just super introverted. So that was part of what we kind of discovered. And then also I'm highly sensitive, which makes sense that like you just kind of take on stuff during the day that maybe some people are able to shrug off a little more easily. It just kind of weighs on you more. So I've been able to come up with some practices with her help of like meditation and breathing, which sounds so basic, but like a lot of the things that I've talked about with folks who've done counseling and therapy too is like what they might be saying to you might not sound like mind-blowing, but you wouldn't have gotten to that conclusion without their help. And so like the fact that she's told me identify the parts of the day where you feel most stressed out and just take the time to breathe and recognize that, and like rest your hands on your knees and close your eyes. Like it's crazy how much that helps kind of centering yourself. So that's all to say, like, I have felt similar things too. I'm sure folks listening do too. And like we always say, I think we want to talk about things that people care about and resonate with. So if this does for you and you have thoughts, feel free to share them. If you want us to talk about other things, feel free to share those. So yeah, thanks for getting into that. Yeah.
And, you know, one other thing I want to mention is, because I don't want there to be a stigma with this sort of stuff. So part of one of my symptoms for me is suicidal ideation. And so this is sort of like on the spectrum of like, you know, some people harm themselves. Some people think about killing themselves. I mean, it's actually very common for people to have suicidal thoughts. But if you are frequently feeling that, there is a number, a national hotline, a lifeline to call. And I would just want to put that out there, 1-800-273-8255. And there are people to talk to and when things feel hopeless, because I have certainly been there. So, and we love you guys, appreciate you all listening. And to transition from that,
another hard left turn.
Another hard transition. But John did allude to people kind of sharing their stories, sharing their kind of the stuff that their music. That's one thing that we've been getting. We've been getting more and more music.
It's so awesome.
And
thank you guys. Please keep sending it.
It's really great. So, from our boy CJ Funk, he sent us an email saying, hey guys, just listening to the Secret Weapon episode. It's a gooder. I'm one that loves all the discussion surrounding religion, how it all fits into our history as parentheses, former Christians and MxPx fans. It's very cool. So thank you. We appreciate hearing that. And he goes on to say, I also love the sharing going on of high school music that may embarrass us.
Yes.
I have lots. This track is from my band from high school. We recorded it in my basement back in 2012 called Plague of Humanity.
So good.
Which now, hearing that title, sounds like we were anti-human, but it was supposed to refer to sin. I actually still like this song, but the lyrics are painful to hear again. And here are some of the lyrics for everybody. Look for an answer. Look towards heaven. We can't do anything on our own strength. When we all surrender our lives to him, then this plague will finally end. And he editorializes, bah! We were out there on a mission using punk rock to preach and save lives. If you ever do a show on 2002 era again, maybe 10 years in running, feel free to share this tune. Don't worry.
Right now.
We're going to share this shit right now.
I can't wait to hear this.
And so the name of the band which he didn't mention in the email is Chinese Hardware.
Sure.
So this is Plague of Humanity circa 2002 by Chinese Hardware.
Yeah.
Yes. Oi. God.
They're very tight. Yeah. I like his voice.
It's great punk rock voice. Right.
Riots, corruption, sickness, disease, wrath over selfishness is released. Raisins of sanitary fights on the streets. When will this anarchy come to a cease? When will we come
Sweet bass.
to realize this plague has got to stop? How long will we keep ignoring how much more this has to occur?
So I'm not really hearing much of a problem. I think this is for high school.
Chinese Hardware. Legit.
They would have co-headlined with Tiger Jack back
Hell
in the
yeah,
day.
man. I want all these reunions. I want a massive
Hashtag the people demand it.
magnified pod reunion of all these bands.
Yes. We'll do Magfest.
Yes.
I think that'll
The new
be
Cornerstone?
Yes. we're bringing it back, people. We're gonna make Magnified Fest.
Oh, man.
Magnafest.
Yes.
No. We'll work on the name.
Yeah.
We'll get there. And all of the drinks will be supplied by Anchor Valley Wine.
Obviously.
Just nothing but wine. You want a beer? Go to another music festival.
Well,
we have only Pinot Gris.
We might sell Secret Weapon beer in the back or something.
That's for the true fans.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that.
That's awesome.
That was such an awesome song. And we also got an awesome email from Jen Mandigo, and she says, "Hey guys, I've loved listening to your podcast. Disclaimer, I haven't listened to all the episodes yet, but I'm working on it."
Nobody has.
No, nobody has.
My wife has listened to one.
My wife has listened. The only time my wife has listened to
That's
any...
when she was in the room.
when she was in the room when we were recording, or when I was like playing one. I wanted to play it in the car to like hear how it sounded.
When she was forced to.
When she was absolutely forced to listen to it. She had nowhere to go. So, but anyway, we appreciate you making the effort because it's a slog. But she says, Before Everything and After is my favorite album, so obviously you're on my shit list now. And she said, I was lucky enough to grow up in the Seattle area and to find MxPx around the time of teenage politics.
So great.
Perfect time to discover them because I discovered them just maybe a couple years after that, but it's a beautiful time. I'm close in age to you guys, born in '82, so I was in my prime teenage years when a lot of MxPx stuff was happening. I saw Arthur play many times, Tumble Down many times,
That's
seen
awesome.
Mike do solo shows many times. You get the idea.
Yeah.
I was also a very conservatively raised Christian kid. I actually heard MxPx for the first time because they were a favorite band of a guy I had a crush on in youth group. Been there.
The best sentence ever.
Yes. Oh God, youth group. Man, I was. Do you remember Homestar Runner
Of
and
course.
and Teen Girl Squad? You know the one who I have a crush on every boy. I was that way, except with girls.
Crush on every youth group girl.
I have a crush on every youth group girl.
That sounds accurate.
That was me. So she goes on to say, it's been really amazing for me to watch Mike's faith/Christianity grow and change over the years as his growth has mirrored mine in a lot of ways. While I still consider myself a Christian, what my faith looks like at 35 is incredibly different than it was at 15 or 25. Samesies.
Yeah.
That resonates very much with both of us. I'm going to speak for John.
Yes.
She says, I have so many memories and ideas that come to mind while I listen to your podcasts. I have met many incredible people who have become close friends because of MxPx, my husband included, and I have such a special place in my heart for them. Attached are some really embarrassing photos and a few normal ones from my many years of MxPx fandom. The last one is Mike playing at my first wedding.
What?
Damn shame I got divorced. Winky. Keep up the good work, Jen.
Wow. I need to see this.
Thank you.
Photo.
So this looks like Mike playing.
Amazing.
He's playing, looks like a Gibson Les Paul in a collared shirt.
Wedding attire.
It looks like wedding attire. This is a picture of MxPx fan club members on poster board with Jen and some other unnamed person with Yuri right in the middle, looking stunned and amazing.
Accurate.
And some sort of MxPx art of the Panic logo.
Very cool.
That she created. A happy 17th birthday, Jen.
Man.
Poking at you, punk. Skateboarding cake.
So great.
I'm not sure, but
That's
it says
the best sentence
MxPx.
ever.
MxPx Left Coast Punk.
I wish I would have been
Cool enough to
I
think
couldn't
of
have.
that.
Yeah.
That's a really rad cake.
So great.
We I know Jen posted a lot of pics today, but we might need to get some of these posted with her permission because these are so rad. And here she is standing next to Mike in some sort of nondescript room. Neither of them are smiling. I can't read what the sticker says that she's wearing, but they're just sort of
backstage pass or
maybe
something.
backstage pass at some. Yeah, maybe they're just hanging at.
IKEA. That's what it looks like.
It looks like some nondescript office, hanging blinds, white walls, corner lamp. Another picture with Mike, who is also still not smiling, and looks like, from what I can see, she's making half a heart with one side of her hand.
I think it might be like claws.
You think?
I don't know.
like she's doing.
Or like she's doing the heart and she was hoping Mike would do the other half and he's just
Maybe.
like, no.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. I don't know. Maybe we'll need to get her to confirm. Picture of the MxPx Reliant K marquee. Her with the band. She's looking positively shocked in the image here. And then the last picture of Mike playing at the wedding and
So cool.
he's at the podium with the ichthus
Oh man,
hanging off the front.
my tattoo.
Your but it's not a
Is-
fish.
Not a fish,
It's
but
ichthus in the cross.
yep.
So Jen, thank you so much for these. I hope my amazing description of the pictures everybody appreciates, but we'll try and I want to get some of these posted
for sure.
if Jen is
Sh-
into that.
Yeah, she also sent us like her holding the Teen Study Bible.
This is like episode 1,
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
But we talked about this.
We talked about how it compared sex to a ham sandwich, and I was like, if anybody's got it. And we did get one text or message about it, but it was like from a blog post that was posted. This is Jen is holding the actual physical
Teen Study
object
Bible
in all its 90s design glory.
And I made a comment on there about how atrocious that layout is.
There's a lot going on.
There's so much. It's so busy.
Triangles.
It's all geometric.
That's like
It's
the 90s, right? Like,
But like, also, can you read this part right here on the side? What it says about how God created sex.
God invented sex. He designed the hormones that trigger your desires. He designed every nerve ending that magnifies pleasure and plaid. Sex isn't wrong. Sex is good. A gift from a God who loves you.
I can't imagine there being anything else in there that would have the world's biggest footnote. Because, like, if you just left it at that, it's like, oh, perfect, that's great.
Oh, cool.
But here are all of the rules and everything that tells you why you shouldn't, when you should and shouldn't, what you can and can't do, who can and cannot have sex. There are just so many stipulations.
All these themes of this Bible are screaming back to me now. It says sex in big letters and then alternate definition. Another fun thing mean adults tell teenagers to keep away from, which is like they have these alternate definitions throughout. Anyway, thank you, Jen, so much for all of this. It is truly amazing.
It's super amazing. And last submission that we got is from our boy Daniel Starrett, who hooked us up.
Thanks, Daniel.
With a bunch of MxPx demos and rarities and stuff. But the stuff that I want to play right now, it brings me so much joy. I don't know exactly where these came from, but they are MIDI versions. That is MIDI versions of MxPx related songs. And if you're not familiar with what MIDI songs sound like, let me give you a little taste and you can experience it for yourself.
What's the deal with Chick Magnet?
Come on! Is he a Chick Magnet or is he not? What's going on?
That was better than mine. So great.
Oh God. It makes me so happy. So it basically sounds like 8-bit music. Just I don't know what the definition of what a MIDI is, but it's this. That's pretty much a MIDI in a nutshell. So I thought
it's an acronym that stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface.
Okay, there we go.
I also found an Angel Fire page devoted to MxPx minis.
that might be one of the most 90s sentences we've ever said.
And we've said a lot of them.
An Angel Fire. How many like low res GIFs are?
Sadly, not as many.
All
as
it says is MxPx MIDI at the top.
Yeah, tough.
Okay, so what I thought would be fun, John, is to play some MxPx MIDIs and see if you could guess what song it is.
Test your might.
Get ready. Are you
I'm
ready?
ready. Let's do it. Punk rock show, obviously.
My favorite is the count off at the beginning. So if you did, just let's listen to that again.
So great. I'm so happy
ridiculous.
this is in my life.
Okay.
Thank you, Daniel.
So okay, you're 1 for 1.
Okay. Shoot. Oh, wait. Americanism. Yeah?
Boom, nailed it. All right.
So great.
All right, let's move on to this one we have to play.
Oh, man. Wait, we just did this one. Oh, wait. Bad Hair Day.
Yeah, there it
Yeah.
is.
It took me a while. I thought it was like a more poppy recent one at first for some reason.
That
Wow.
one actually sounds pretty good.
Should we do one more?
Yeah, let's do. I'm gonna try and throw you for a loop here.
Ooh. Downfall of Western civilization.
There it is.
I gotta hear this. Yeah. Why? Ooh.
So
Dude.
ridiculous.
This slaps. So great. Then I walk away.
Okay, so there are so many of these. I have 40 of these.
I'm gonna listen to this so much.
We need to listen to all of them all the time. So Daniel, thank you so much. We really appreciate people. If you have anything that you want us to talk about on the show, pictures, songs, please keep sending them our way. We love it so much, and we really, really appreciate it. All right, John, is there anything left before we take a break and move on to the Planes Within Plans discussion?
Let's see. Are we saving your songs for the next segment? Do we want to hear any of those?
Oh,
Do we want to save those for...
Okay, we'll do one of my circa maybe 2012.
Yeah.
This was actually maybe it was around. So this is a song that it definitely fell between Secret Weapon and Plans when I wrote it. I'm not entirely sure,
Okay.
but it's a song called Will I Be, and it was, you can tell with the lyrics that I was in the throes of trying to understand my faith, like what I believed at the moment, because the whole concept of the song is, when I die, will I exist someplace, or
Interesting.
is that it? And so this is sort of the beginning of my wrestling with my mortality and sort of the existential parts of being. So
Ooh. I like it. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's soaring guitar in the background.
A sky overlapping with the darkness of space, fading in
is awesome.
Losing all of sound, and I want to believe there's something I can't touch. All the pounds of air surrounds me everywhere. No one can really tell me why I feel alone. I'll just wait until my spirit leaves this flame. When my breath is no longer on your skin, and my body turns to ash once again. And so many years from now, when I'm a faint photograph, will I be? Will I be?
Dude, that sounds great. It's really good, man.
It's
It's harmonious. Come on.
yeah.
Ugh.
Disarming me with shame, redirecting blame, and no one can fix the parts that always seem to break my identity. What do you really see? Will there be a point where I can feel complete? A chasm now connected by a love I can feel. Where my breath is no longer on yours.
It's really good, dude.
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
into
It was a clearly I was in a full blown faith crisis.
Yeah. But it
But-
sounds good.
Thanks. Yeah.
Was that on a particular record?
No, that was just me and GarageBand.
Wow. Those weren't actual instruments?
I mean the guitar,
Right. But the
guitar,
drums?
the drum loops.
I thought the drums were real on that.
Yeah, that's
You fooled me.
I fooled you, sucker.
Well,
So that's
that song is great.
Thank you. Yeah, that's Will I Be, and I guess I still don't have an answer to the question.
Yeah.
My guess is no, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Who knows indeed.
So, a very heavy and weird and light first half of the show.
I mean, yeah. We are all encompassing on this pod.
Yep. So we're gonna take a break, and then when we come back, we're gonna go track by track of Plans Within Plans.
Boom.
Boom. And we're back, and this is the album we're living for,
That's right.
I guess.
Sure.
Sure, okay, whatever. We're talking Plans Within Plans, the 2012 release. This was a solid 5 years
Yeah.
between Secret Weapon and Plans Within Plans.
Yep.
And they're also this would be the fourth label they would be on.
Yeah, I guess so.
It would be, because if it was A&M with Before Everything and After, and then for Panic it was Side One Dummy, Secret Weapon it was Tooth and Nail,
Yep.
and then this was Rock City.
Rock City.
So 4 albums, 4 labels.
Yep. Which, I mean, so Rock City is them,
Yes,
self-produced.
self-produced.
And I guess the
well,
only... Sort
I
of.
mean, produced by Steve Edgerton. He's back behind the boards.
He mixed and mastered it for sure, right?
Yeah.
Our buddy from Panic. He
Yeah.
plays on some songs as well.
Yep.
But Rock City still exists, I think. Like, is it just that the new record is not Rock City because they did it through Kickstarter? Like, does that prevent them from being able to call it a Rock City release?
That's because, yeah, on the new album, it's MxPx Global Enterprises.
Which I think they set up just for Kickstarter stuff.
Maybe, yeah.
So,
I don't know if this is where the new album, but John, we're getting
ahead of ourselves.
We're getting 6 years ahead of ourselves.
That's right.
So,
this was the most recent MxPx album until a month ago. So.
Yes, that is true. That is true. So, yeah, so this album was pretty much. So here's another thing. We went from a nearly 50-minute MxPx album with Secret Weapon, slashed it by 15 minutes almost.
And it feels great.
35-minute, 18-second record.
That's the way to do it.
So this was, before the new album, the shortest full length.
Is it bad if I say they could still probably stand to lose a couple?
No, I think...
There are no songs that I dislike on this record for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But I feel like the new album just like, mwah,
yeah,
perfect length.
there's no riff-raff.
Yeah.
There's no... It's... This... I do think there are two... This could be an 11-track song,
Yes.
11-track album.
Yep.
And I think they did a really solid correction between Secret Weapon and Plans.
Yeah.
I think that album, Secret Weapon, was bloated.
Yeah.
And this one, they're like, the production on this record, it couldn't be more different than, it just was like, this is back to basics punk rock. This is not your Aaron Sprinkle record with throwing in trumpet and piano and excessive background vocals and soaring stuff. It's
the first in a while. Like, I love Panic,
Yeah.
but even Panic does feel produced a little bit. This is the first in a while that's really sounded like them, like
and
classic MxPx.
yes, and this, from Plans to the new self-titled album, it's not a huge leap.
No.
In terms of style, sound, songwriting.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I feel like what we talked a lot about with the new record is that it sounds like a mature MxPx. Like, that's what we were hoping they would be, and I feel like that is here as well. It sounds like what a mature MxPx should sound like to me.
Well, yes, if you think so, 2007 and 2012,
Yeah.
a solid 5 years of Mike growing and maturing still, because even in for a Secret Weapon, we're talking late 20s, early 30s for a Secret Weapon, and now being solidly in his mid 30s. Things change in your 30s.
Yep.
There's a huge shift in mature. Like, I felt it almost immediately when I turned 30.
Yeah. That
there was like a seismic shift in how I was thinking about life. So I kind of see that in the writing on this album.
Yeah, they didn't do too much between those records either, as far as I can tell. I mean, we were talking about, they did this cover of Johnny Cash's "Hey Porter" for this all punk tribute to Johnny Cash, which is okay.
They did the on the cover too.
Oh, that's right.
Punk Rock Christmas, which was the compilation of
collection.
The collection of those Christmas songs that they'd been rreleasing.
When was Left Coast Live?
Left Coast Live was like last year.
Okay.
Yeah. So on the cover too, I would say would be the most prominent. That thing that they released,
which we'll get to.
Yeah, John. So I feel like now I'm going to preemptively say this before we get to the end of the episode, just because I want people to get excited. Because we posted that we're not going to be doing the new album after this, which in order that it would be the next album.
Sure.
However, it is just too fresh. It's too new. And we also don't have our vinyl.
Yeah.
We don't have like
We gotta
that's
have the
part,
full experience.
We have to have the full experience.
We need the little plush on our shoulder
I
while we're
need
listening.
my poking at you punk sitting here. So
looking at us.
yeah, looking at me, judging me probably. But so yes, we have the CD, but it's too new of an album for me to fully digest it and appreciate it in such a short period of time, and I want to do it justice.
Yeah.
We did our first impressions, which was not, that's not our. I just feel like we need to sit with it for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Wait till we get our Kickstarter stuff, and then we will address it. However, we put out in the MxPx sphere listeners asking them, what should we do next? Since we're not going to be doing the new album, what would they like us to do? The resounding response overwhelmingly was let it happen. Understandable. So we will be doing Let It Happen next as our next episode after plans. So get excited about that.
Yeah.
We haven't decided how we're going to go about that. Because
it's a lot of tracks.
And a top 3 would be criminal, in my opinion. So I've been thinking, what about like a top 5?
Okay.
Would 5 songs be fair?
I mean, yeah, but it's criminal for teenage politics and life in general for me too.
Yeah, that's true.
Tough.
Are we going to be brutal? Are we going to make it 3 songs and let it happen?
We'll see. There's a lot of tracks. Maybe 5 is okay.
I think, yeah, because
could make an exception. These aren't the LPs anymore. We're in an strange, unknown territory.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah,
but yeah, a 32 track, because also with Let It Happen they did the deluxe edition with new songs. Right. So there's a lot. So, but anyway, that's next. But we need to let's get back on course here.
Let's do it.
We're talking plans. And so John, what was going on with you in 2012? What was
I was still working in higher ed, as I've alluded to in previous episodes.
At North Park at this point?
Yep. And, I don't know. There were some records that came out that year that I liked, but I feel like, I don't know if this is because I'm old now, but the last couple episodes we've done have been like 2007, I don't know, like 2012. Like, there was stuff, but they didn't feel like monumental years like when I was younger.
Sure.
But
Good Kid, Mad City came out.
Yeah, it did. So
Channel Orange by Frank Ocean. That album is...
it's real good.
Celebration Rock by Japandroids.
Oh, yeah, that is a good record.
That is a solid-ass record.
Records by Purity Ring and Crystal Castles and Beach House, Grimes, Fiona Apple. I liked all those a lot. So there's plenty of good stuff going on. But yeah, maybe it's just because I'm older, but it didn't feel like 2012 was... I mean, Obama got reelected. Yeah. That's about all I remember. What about you?
Yeah. 2012 was... I was at Whole Foods. That's where I was working at the time. And it was also me reaching rock bottom with my mental health. So I was so stressed. I was in a band. I was in a band called the Peekaboos at the time, and we were recording a record. I was a team leader for a team at Whole Foods Market. I was wrestling with my mental health and trying to navigate that with my marriage. It was not a solid time for me. But so I don't want to belabor that, since we talked about plenty of mental health stuff in the first half. Yeah. But so when I think about 2012, that's how I think about that. It's kind of like just the fog over that year. I do remember being in the studio the night Obama was reelected. because we were working on recording the album with the Peekaboos, and which you can listen to on Spotify.
Shout out.
Shout out to the Peekaboos. No longer the Peekaboos. The band had to change their name because of another band, I think, another international band named the Peekaboos. But they are now called Lollygagger, so check them out. But you can listen to the album I recorded that I played bass on. It's called Stay Positive, which I was not at the time. Things were very negative. So that was me in 2012.
Yeah.
But this album, I wasn't on my radar.
No.
This slipped by me because the last album that I purchased was Secret Weapon, and then I think that album left me feeling sort of like meh, and then it was like 5 years, and then nothing came out, so I think I just had lost track of the band at that point.
Yeah, this was not on my radar at all until a couple months ago, and like I said, I'm very grateful to this project for bringing Panic into my life, which is now one of my favorite MxPx records.
Yeah.
And this one, I really like this album a lot, so I'm really glad to have it in my life as well.
Yeah. So in my search in recent months for procuring MxPx vinyl, I've only been able to come by 2 of the records, Plans being one of them and Panic being the other. A lot of the other ones are exorbitantly expensive. I just can't at this point shell out hundreds of dollars for a single record.
See our episode with Jason Huckney's. I meant for more on that subject.
Yeah, for more on why can't bands just re-release albums on vinyl.
Complicated.
Get into that. It's complicated. But so this is one thing I noticed on this record that I only noticed recently because I got the new MxPx album, the CD. I pre-ordered it, and just kind of looking through the liner notes on the new album, they got Chris Adkins on there for the first time, which is awesome. But I noticed it says performed by, and Yuri gets top billing. And I was like, and that got me thinking, has Yuri ever gotten top billing before? That was kind of surprising to me.
Yeah.
So I went back through the records to see, and Yuri gets top billing on Plans.
Fascinating.
And so Plans was actually the first album in the band's. So at this point, that would have been their 20-year history of being a band that Yuri got any top billing. Plans was the first time that he was listed first.
Is it just like they felt like it was time to properly honor him?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like Tom has been listed first. Mike had been obviously listed first.
Maybe they like rock, paper, scissors every record.
Maybe. I don't know how that's determined. But also, when you look at some of the images in the gatefold for the vinyl, and also within the CD booklet, they're wearing shirts that have Yuri's face on it that says Legend.
So great.
So, I mean, those are amazing shirts.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you can call him a legend and then not give him top billing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. But yeah, I started going through and just like looking at how the band is
interesting.
The band is broken down. So yeah, that's a weird thing. Like, I don't know how that's determined.
Yeah. Especially
since some of what I heard. Was it with our episode with Daniel Leary from MxPx Memes? Was he the one that told us that this was sort of like a Mike solo project of sorts?
Yeah.
That he just wrote a lot of the songs, or all the songs, and then had the guys come in.
Less collaborative than the new record, certainly. It sounded like.
And this is something else that's interesting between the CD booklet for plans and the vinyl is it has this note written by Mike about the record that's not included in the CD booklet. And it says, I struggled with this album title for a long time. I've been recording this album between tours and booking tours, studio sessions, trying to live somewhat of a normal life. Life got in the way of that. Plans within plans was the only way I could describe all the mayhem that was going on behind the scenes of putting this collection of brand new songs together. I was and still am literally flying off the rails, trying to juggle all the jobs that I need doing to keep this ship afloat. I'm the captain going down.
I'm the captain now. I think that's what he's referencing.
Yes, he was talking about the Tom Hanks the Tom Hanks movie. Yep. He's got his fingers pointed at his eyes. Mm-hmm. He says, "I'm the captain going down with the ship, but just maybe we'll make it to land before we all drown."
Jeez.
Yeah, it takes a dark turn there at the end.
I mean, the record doesn't shy away from the darkness.
No, there's some songs on here that I feel like have a Panic era sound.
Yeah.
A Panic era sort of
thematic
themes.
Yeah, I felt like, I mean, the way we kind of talked about it before was Panic was kind of like, shit is dark and we're going to live in it.
Yep.
And then Secret Weapon was kind of like, yeah, things are dark, but like, you can do it. Like, we got
Right.
this. And this record kind of feels like a continuation.
Self-actualization was the term we used a lot.
This one definitely, I mean, it feels pretty positive overall in its outlook and stuff. And kind of looking back on the years, like we talked about. The new album kind of does that too, continuation of that. But like,
There's some nostalgia.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it kind of feels like we're up against the darkness. And sometimes that's all there is. And sometimes it's like, but we can get through it. So it's an interesting kind of tension there. Yeah.
So this was produced and recorded at Monkey Trench. Mm-hmm. So we'd mentioned it, but it was released on Rock City. But this was done at the Monkey Trench Studios in Bremerton. It was produced and engineered by Mike, but mixed and mastered by Steve Edgerton. So back on the boards.
Yeah.
The last time Steve was with the band, it was on Panic with our boy Gavi Mack. Mm-hmm. And so he's returned. And I'm glad this was sort of like how that feeling after the ever-passing moment going into Before Everything and After, and then Panic.
Yeah.
This album feels like Panic after Before Everything and After.
Yeah.
It just feels like this feels like a refreshing return to form.
Right.
And
it's interesting to go from Before Everything to Panic, and then from Secret Weapon to this. It is kind of like a zigzagging up and down. Yeah. And it's also the third album that we have Seth Roberts. Mm-hmm. Seth Roberts has been on Seth Roberts from Watashi Wa, and he did the layout with Panic. I think he also contributed, I think, some vocals on Secret Weapon, and he's back doing some engineering and I think some also album design and layout, which is cool.
I like the design on this is as far as the non poking at you punk album covers. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. I think this is again going back to Secret Weapon. How we on that episode we talked about having dudes from the band on the
Right.
front of the record,
Looking at the camera.
breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
It just was like cheese.
Yeah.
This album strips the cheese.
Strip that cheese.
Strip that cheese. Shave off that cheese. Just get out
Just
that
get a
grater.
on this record.
Just get that grater. Shave that cheese. But they look badass.
Yeah, they look cool.
on the front. So I am all about that cover. The coloring, the sort of faded, sort of like it just
Much like
it
our
just
youth.
it just looks great.
Yep.
I'm into it. Super into it.
Yep. Cool dudes.
Yeah.
Cool, mature dudes.
Yep. So, was there anything else you want to talk about before we get?
I mean,
track
it
by
seems
track?
like this was pretty well received by fans and by critics, I think. Number 23 on Billboard's Christian chart,
Oh
which is not as high as they've charted before, and I don't think it ranked at all on the regular chart.
no, I think when you self-produce,
Yeah.
that you're not gonna get.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have the machine
Right.
behind you pushing you, but you see what happens when you get a machine behind you.
Right.
You get a lot of interference.
Dove Awards.
Yeah, that's what you get. A
Yep.
ton of double awards, and you get to rub elbows with people like Michael W. Smith and Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Yep.
Has anybody said Stephen Curtis Chapman's name in the past 20 years?
I don't know. He might be
Is-
releasing great stuff, and we just don't know.
We don't know. Hey, at me, Stephen Curtis Chapman.
I may be interviewing Amy Grant for the magazine I work for.
No, you're not.
I may be.
You may be.
Well-
Are you alluding to the fact that you are, or are you saying it's not determined yet?
It's not finalized yet, but she's got some Christmas content coming out. We'll see what happens.
That's amazing.
So she's still kicking. I know that much. She played at the Wild Goose Festival.
What is she? So she's releasing another Christmas album?
Well, it's a not Lifetime, Hallmark, which they've got a Christmas special coming out. Did you know Hallmark during Christmas time is the #1 channel on television? They get more viewers than anything else. I know
I
this
would-
from working with their PR people trying to set up this Amy Grant interview.
I would assume that would be TNT because they play A Christmas Story 24.
TBS, right?
I thought it was TNT.
I think they're kind of the same thing, but I'm pretty sure it's on TBS.
Is it?
Yep. I also remember in the 90s when they started doing that, or like early 2000s, they had this little like ska Christmas song in their promos for it was like 24 hours of A Christmas Story, and it was like I just had this flashback to that little trombone. Yep.
We got a little-
Anyway, we're getting derailed here.
Pick it up. So we're
Let's get
talking.
into it.
We're talking
is
Amy
the-
Grant. We're talking Christmas Story.
Yep.
This is
As we always do.
as we do for our episodes on MxPx.
Yep.
Okay,
Let's do this.
Okay, we're gonna do track by track of this very brief 35-minute record.
Yeah.
Track 1, Aces Up.
You push yourself away from everyone you know. How do you expect relationships to grow? You feel like a character inside a book. The infinite disaster. No happy ever after. No, no. Just deal the cards. And hope that you get aces. And when you play your hand, put on your bubba faces. Like just don't get laces. You may have to bluff sometimes. You may have to bluff sometimes. The youngest, brightest minds can make you wrap the
Dude,
Great first song.
yes. I'm into it.
We've talked a lot about great album openers.
Yep.
Usually MxPx is good about pulling that off, and I think they definitely do here.
Yep. I really like this song. It is not in my top 3.
Me neither. Me neither.
either.
Me either.
You don't know me neither.
But it is real good.
It is really good.
It was.
It's one of the it addresses kind of the first in the series of talking about some
Darkness.
Darkness, yeah. The second verse says, "The youngest, brightest minds can't figure out the cause of our incurable unhappiness and all our flaws."
See, that's how you poetically refer to the age that we're living in.
Yeah.
Compared to Secret Weapon.
Yeah.
Where it's like, throw away your cell phone. Like,
Yeah.
this feels like a poetic way to describe that phenomenon. Anyway, continue.
No, I 100% agree that it's sort of like the now hack bit of, well, you're telling me they can send a man to the moon, but they can't do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
And this is his way of being like, we have accomplished so much, and there are just some very basic fundamental things of like, we fuck up all the time, and we should be happy, but we're not happy.
Right.
And this song really resonates with me, especially he says he's using the poker metaphor, the cards metaphor about because life don't just deal aces. You have to bluff sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's a way of saying, like, no one said life was going to be fair. Life isn't fair. And I think one of a lot of people our age, especially in their early 30s, coming to this realization that, growing up, we thought, oh man, adults get to have all the fun. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And have this idea that, like, adults have an idea of what they're doing. They didn't.
Right.
I don't. I'm making it up as I go along. And this idea of, like, you have to bluff sometimes. You just fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
That's literally me in most situations.
Right.
With any job I'm at, I'm like, I am, like, this close to feeling like, what's that called? Like, when you feel like you're a fraud. There's like this
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
or something
imposter
like that?
syndrome. Like, you feel like you don't deserve something because you feel like you're just an imposter. But I feel like a lot of people our age wrestle with that kind of a concept. But sorry, you were going to say something?
No. I was going to say it was the second single, which makes sense.
Oh, we should talk about the music video.
We should talk about the video. It's a cool video. We're back to cool videos.
We're back to cool videos. It's a throwback.
There are parts of it that are cool.
There are
Maybe I
parts
should
of
have
it
said
that.
that.
Okay, we'll do that. So yeah, the projection on the sides of buildings, and
so they're kind of like going along on a truck and stuff, and then projected onto the side as they go is like Mike and the band playing.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
but it also is very reminiscent of Move to Bremerton.
Yeah,
where they're just like
a few goofs running
couple
around.
Dudes walking around. They're on a ferry, pushing each other in shopping carts, and I think I don't know if it's like a winky wink sort of thing,
I think
but
it might
like,
be.
because they're like dudes, standing outside of buildings, being like, laughing, and they're like chasing each other.
Too old to be chasing each other on rooftops.
Yes, they're even. Like,
sorry, guys. Well, I mean, we were saying like they were our age now when they did it, and I'm too old to run around a rooftop. So.
Yeah, it because it's also, I can also imagine it being like, all right, guys, just like run across a little bit and just like, and this is because this was produced and directed by our boy Brian Bouchelt, who did Let's Ride. He did the Let's Ride music video for the new album, which is a perfect music video. And I love it so much.
Yep.
So,
he also did the Far Away video, which I think is also awesome.
Yep. So I'm wondering if this might be their first workings with Brian, but
Right.
I think this is a really an overall, aside from the chasing each other on a rooftops, I think this is kind of a
I mean, I'll take chasing each other over like weird low angle gestures and stuff as we got on the last go around.
throwing away your cell phone,
Yeah, I'll take this for sure.
smashing all the instruments.
It's fun to just see them like they're buds. They're still
They're still bro.
dudes.
They're still broing out.
Yeah, just broing out all over the place.
Yeah. So, John, you were referring earlier to a sort of a poetic way of discussing kind of where we are in the world. This might
I'm going crazy.
not be the same.
I'm making medication, but that's not all. I got a screw loose somewhere deep inside my head. Pushing on my eyes, I'm strapped down to a bed. I'm really messed up. How did I get this way? I've gotta break something just to feel okay. I got a screw loose somewhere deep inside my head. Pushing on my eyes.
Yeah.
This is an on the nose.
Yes.
Kind
It
of
feels
song.
like Secret Weapon to me.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like what I said about Contention, which is
Yeah.
a song I like, but like I feel like I should like Screw Loose a lot.
Yeah.
But it feels kind of cheesy.
Yeah. It's not. It's.
I don't dislike it. It
No.
just
I don't.
I like
I
the
don't,
hardcore elements, but
Yeah. It's too on the nose. It's
Yeah.
too like I want to talk about something related to mental health, but like, all right, I'm crazy. I want to punch things.
Right.
Strap me down.
I mean,
it's,
I like that it's like a minute and it's hardcore and it's like
Yeah.
that feels okay.
Yeah,
but
I can hang with a minute 7.
yeah. I think this was a single too because
It was released on they had like
Right.
a vinyl,
Yep.
like 7-inch release of it.
that's where the B-side Despise comes from,
Right,
which we
right.
might listen to later. But yeah, so I don't know when it was released as single, but I think it was one of them.
Yep. Now let's go to Nothing Left.
Who do you think the song is about? I
You
can't.
mean the directing there? There's nothing left in your memories. That has
Yeah.
anything to do with me.
Is it like about fans? Maybe. I couldn't quite wrap my head
Grinding
around it.
smiles and forcing gears. Sort of like flipping the forcing smiles, grinding gears.
Yeah. And then
I
he's
don't
like, I
know.
mean, I've tried and I've tried to keep you satisfied, though I may never reach the top. Every step along the climb is everything I wanted in this life because you gave your time. Or maybe it's about like his collaborators. I don't know, but it's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's in my top 3.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Tell me more about why you like it.
Melodically
Yeah.
and the just it's a I love the pace of the song.
Yeah, for sure.
I love I really like it. I don't have like a
Sure.
huge emotional connection to it.
Yeah.
But
It definitely, I mean, it's about growing up, I think. He says, I never thought I'd be this old, which is also
Yeah.
a theme on the new record, and it's
Yeah.
clearly kind of a looking back kind of song.
yeah.
But yeah, I like it.
I was part of me was wondering if this one would be on your
My top 3.
in your top 3.
I think it's a contender. There are a lot of songs.
there
on this album that I like a lot.
Yeah, there are. I have a top 5
Oh yeah.
that songs that are not in my top 3 that like I could swap out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we'll get to our deep dive into the new record as you were saying, but what we did say on our immediate reactions episode, or what I said, was like it does remind me a lot of Plans in certain ways, and I don't mind that because I like Plans. And actually listening to it a lot, to this record a lot the last couple of weeks, I was kind of like, do I like this more than the new record? And we'll get into our rankings and stuff later. But I think where I ended up is the highs of the new record feel higher to me. But there are probably overall more songs that I like on this one. I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
but
that makes sense.
There aren't a ton of songs I'm like, I unequivocally love this, which I can say about a bunch of songs on the new record.
Yeah.
But there aren't any songs that I dislike on this one. So anyway.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There are songs on here that I'm just sort of like,
Yeah.
it's okay, but
Right.
like I don't have, or I'm not just like, oh, this is a jam, but
Yeah.
because this next song is a jam.
Yeah, it is.
And this is in my top 5.
Okay. Yeah, probably mine too.
These are the times I'm living for. These are the times I'm living for. Every day is better than the one before. Turn out my phone so work will leave me alone. Can't stand to have the boss breathing down my neck. I don't need that check more than self-respect. These are the times I'm living for. These are the times I'm living for. Every day is better than the one before. So who's got 10 in your experience? Sometimes what is real just
God, I love that bass line so much.
So great. Yeah,
Anytime
this-
they're... Go ahead, sorry.
No, go for it.
I was just going to say, anytime they get in that sort of like rancid bass line, like
Yeah.
ska, oi territory, I love that brand of MxPx.
Yeah, I'm here for that. This song feels like Panic to me.
Yeah.
This song feels like it could be, what's it called, Late Again, like this sort of
Sure.
like, I don't know, just that sort of street punk,
Yeah.
cow punk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just feels
Feels kind of loose and fun.
it feels loose and fun, and I like it. And it also has some of that nostalgia that we
Yeah.
that is on the new record, and I'm into it.
Yep.
So we're about a third of the way through, John.
We're blowing through these. I feel like a lot of them is just like, yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I
know.
don't. That's the thing. Like on Secret Weapon,
Yeah.
I didn't have. There was like, I'm like, oh my god, can we talk about this for a second?
there's
But
some
like
bummers.
this one, like I'm just like, yeah, good song,
Right.
good song.
Yep.
In the past,
Oh, yeah.
with the conflict on the outside and the fear within. It's hard to find the courage to begin again. I'm one of the dead cast and I don't want this to last. It's in the past. It's in the past. It's in the past. It's in the past. Covered in the knowledge I have reconciled.
My number 1.
yeah, it's my number 2.
Oh, man, yes.
It's so good.
It is so good.
Yeah, there's no way the song wasn't on. That's so rad. The
Oh my gosh. I love that.
yeah, we should get to the
Guitar
the
solo.
little break down here. I think this is Steve Edgerton.
It is, yeah. Love it.
So great.
Man,
So great. Nailed
I'm
it.
really into that.
Nailed it.
It, the chorus is great.
Yep.
But then those break-offs from there that feel different are also great. When they
Yep.
come back into it, it's like, yeah.
Yep. There's nothing wrong with that song.
It definitely kind of is still in that theme of like staying in the depressive state a little bit.
Yeah.
Like acknowledging kind of the positive attitude, but mainly staying in the dark place.
Yeah. I'm one of the downcast, and I don't want this to last.
Yeah.
It's in the past.
Yeah, so it's almost like compartmentalizing it, or I don't know. Compartmentalizing isn't realizing. We all know that. So maybe he needs to take
Throwback.
some advice. But yeah,
Well, I mean, he said there's comfort in the knowledge I have reconciled. So that is sort of compartmentalizing.
yeah. And again, that's like those are good lyrics. He
Yes.
talks about himself not being a good lyricist, but this record is like, yes,
With the
mature.
exception of Screw Loose, I would say, because this is something I think worth acknowledging on the vinyl. They have this like little part. I think it comes after Best of Times, the next song, because I think then that goes to. Yeah, so after Best of Times, it says this is the end of side one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
it's sort of bizarre.
What's the side B opener?
Side B opener is Stay on Your Feet.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
So yeah, but I was gonna say that side one of the record, very very solid.
Oh,
very
yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
So let's go to Best of Times.
Do you remember? Do you remember? Golden leaves in November. Do you remember? Do you remember? Silverdale in December. All that snow with no place to go. Can't make practice, can't go to a show. The world has changed outside my window. What will we be? Where did we go? I sat there in silence. All those memories crossed my mind. I love life now, but those were the best of times. Do you remember? Do you remember?
My number 3.
This could have been this is in my top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to and this is one of those songs where you live for that that bridge, and
Yeah,
sort of
it's-
that end part.
What I have is I love the bridge and where it goes,
Yeah,
which I think is at about 212. Yeah. So good.
so great. It's such a good payoff.
Yeah, it is. It sort of feels like Panic to me, not necessarily like melodically, but like in the sense that I'm on board with it, but it reaches a certain point where it just transcends to the next level, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is a great song.
Yeah, it's one of those songs where I'm like, I enjoy it, but
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you remember when you get to this part, you're like, oh yeah,
This is it.
This is-
this is where the gang vocals come in.
this is where it comes in.
I'm a
Yeah.
sucker for those.
This is another one of those songs where you wonder, like, if is it a song about Holly? Is it a song about?
Yeah.
Because it's I mean, it could be another like reminiscing about being in the
Right.
band and like, do you remember all these,
Yeah.
Things that we used to do? And this album is very much kind of a reminiscing,
Yeah.
nostalgia.
Nostalgic. Yep.
Looking back, thinking it's a very 30s
Yeah.
themed
I like
album.
that. I mean, it's like it's not a negative sentiment, but it is kind of like a bittersweet. He's like, I love life now,
Right.
but those are the best of times.
Yeah. Because this is something that I honestly
Thank you.
think we're going to come up against when we discuss our top 10
yeah.
records, because I was thinking about this as I was driving to Magnified Studios West tonight about what role, because I think I was listening to this song and I was thinking about what role nostalgia plays
Yeah.
in music, and can anything ever beat nostalgia?
Yeah.
Can an album, the new album,
Yeah.
which is arguably better than
Sure.
any number of their earlier records
Yes.
in a lot of ways. However,
Yeah.
can you can tear Teenage Politics from my cold dead hands,
Yeah.
and I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I
love that record so much, and so and to think about putting in like any other albums,
Yeah.
because it's so much a part of me. How can I disrespect it?
Yeah.
So much.
It's yeah, I think when we get into our top 10 albums, which we will do, like it's going to have to be favorites, not best, because like those are different,
Those
like,
are, yeah.
best. It might be, I mean, we were saying like Mike probably often feels like whatever the most recent record is, he's like, this is my best songwriting to date. And that may be true. Like, I do think Plans and then the new record reach levels of maturity that they hadn't before. And I would say the same about Panic. But, like, yeah, there's no, like, spoiler alert, there's no way Teenage Politics is not going to be, like, number one, maybe number two, but probably
Right.
number one. So,
Right.
But it's probably not their best record.
No.
But, yeah.
But it's just, and I can't, and it hurts me, physically hurts me to think about being like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
so
No, we're
right.
not doing that.
We're not, no.
We're going faves.
I'm going gut.
Yep.
Going straight gut with the faves. All right.
We should mention the Swellers sing
Yeah.
the gang vocals at the end there, which I don't know them at all.
No.
The lead singer does some extra background vocals too on this one, but
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't call out our boy Seth Roberts
oh right,
on Nothing Left. But we did. Yeah, we got
Stevie.
our Nick. Let's see who Nick Diener
Oh yeah, from the
on
Swellers.
Best of Times.
Right.
Yeah. So all right, and Greg Bennett. I was trying to look up Greg Bennett, who it says percussion on Best of Times. And I know that Greg Bennett makes guitars,
Yeah.
and because I used to play a Greg Bennett guitar, there's a beautiful purple, like sparkly flecked
That's cool.
guitar. It was really rad. I wish I still had it, but yeah, I couldn't find who this dude is, and I'm a little confused as to what percussion means.
Cowbell.
I think Yuri can handle the cowbell.
Probably.
So, I mean, spoiler alert, we're trying to set up some future interviews with folks, and we're gonna try and get some more details
Yeah.
on this record and the past few records, because we are genuinely curious about the 4 albums, 4 label
for sure.
deal.
Yeah.
Because it's a little interesting. All right. Stay on your feet.
Say hello to the sunshine and goodbye to the rain. Keep it moving in straight lines, lining it out of the pain. Leave all your worries behind you and let the good times return. You can have all of your dreams now and get what you deserve. You'll take the twists, you'll take the turns, you'll make mistakes but eventually learn. 'Cause life is better, but also sweet. When pride gets rough, girl, stay on your feet. Stay on your feet. Take it as it comes, but don't retreat. Stay on your feet. You gotta take a risk and face the heat.
Solid bass line there.
For sure. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I like the chorus a lot.
Yeah.
I like where it goes musically.
Yep.
Definitely still in that kind of, life is tough, but, you can do it
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, it has a Secret Weapon feel, but it doesn't annoy me
Yeah.
as much as some of the sentiments
Yeah.
on Secret Weapon.
I
But
don't think it...
because I don't know, stay on your feet. I don't know. I don't know if it's a
Yeah,
pull
it's
yourself
more just
up by your
like...
bootstraps, but you just keep
keep
going.
grinding.
Just
It's not
keep
so much like
grinding.
you can do it as just like, don't not do it.
Yeah.
So...
Life sucks,
Yep.
but do your best to
do your
just
best.
deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a do your best song.
Yeah.
You're doing all right.
I like the do your best record vibes. I can get that.
This is next song is a Lucky Guy. I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
I'm not a millionaire, but she still loves me. I don't know why she cares, but she still loves me. I won't deny I'm hard to hold, or slow to do the things I'm told. I'm a lucky guy and I'll tell you why. 'Cause after all this she's still, I don't have a PhD, but she still loves me.
What I will say is that I really like it musically. It's a little cheesy. It definitely
Yes.
is on the nose in the way that we were kind of saying Screw Loose is, where it's like, I don't know if he feels like when it's a more aggressive song, he's got to kind of like hit a harder lyrical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. This is the one of the few that I feel like is a little cheese, but I
Yeah.
like it musically a lot.
Yeah.
I do.
If this is one of the songs I would cut to
Yeah,
make it
I
an
could do that.
11-minute, 31-second
Yeah.
or 31-minute song or album. But it's also in this season of me trying to be a doing positive self-talk. This is a kind of song that's like, you're basically saying, I'm poor, I'm dumb, and I'm ugly,
Ugly.
but she loves me and I don't know why. It's
Yeah.
like, bro,
I know.
ask her.
Yeah.
Because,
That's
know,
a good point.
Like, ask her why because I'm sure she doesn't care that you don't have a PhD, because most people don't, and they can still find people that care about them for deeper reasons than just their overall intelligence. But also, he says, "I'm not so beautiful." Bro,
Come on, dude.
come on.
You know you're pretty good
Come
looking.
on. Would totally disagree. And just have to open up the gatefold of this album to see the sexiness of Mike Herrera.
I will, thank you.
I will. I mean they're all looking
They look
good.
pretty good.
Looking
They're
good
aging
in this.
gracefully here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's being winking here, which I know is not an MxPx vein you're particularly into.
No,
But-
it's not. And it's yeah. I do think there's probably some little winkies
Little
going.
winks going.
Little winks. But I don't know. It's if that's the case, it's like then it just seems to me to be a little disingenuous.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a throwaway,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I like what they're trying to do with like this one and Screw Loose and stuff, but like I could do without them probably.
Yeah. Agreed. Next is one of the other music video songs by Brian
Yep.
Bouchelt.
Bry, our guy Bry.
Our guy Bry. Our guy Bry.
It's a struggle just to stay alive. A brute force wind keeps us huddled inside. While the ship is going under, the violence will tear us asunder. And the land is too far away. Land is too far away. Would you please promise me you'll come back to stay before you're too far away?
It's my number 3.
My number 2.
Yes.
So we have the same
We have two
out of the 3
We have 2 out of 3, which I don't think has happened
in a while.
In a while.
Yeah. I wonder if those 2 will be consensus picks among people. They probably will.
Yeah. I mean,
But-
far away, nothing left. Those are solid as hell.
I had in the past, Far Away,
Wait, in the past, what did you?
and Best of Times.
Okay, you know what I never do, and you know what I never do.
Rank them.
No, I never write down yours.
Well,
Because I almost always text you on
Yeah,
Thursday
yeah.
being like, bro, what are your top 3 again?
I save it in my notes because I know that's going to happen.
In the past and far away, we both have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, did you say all 3 of yours already?
Yes, nothing left in
Right,
the
right,
past
right.
and
Okay.
far away.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, this was the first single. I feel like that was a good choice. That Stephen Edgerton guitar opens it up.
Yeah.
Thematically, it's definitely like when the opening words are "It's a struggle just to stay alive." Like we're in the darkness here, people.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to get to the hardcore bridge. Can we hear a little bit of that? It's so great.
A new day will dawn, just keep up the fight. In the end, you'll know whether you were right.
I think I missed it.
I think it comes later.
We're always going
I don't think so.
No. Oh well, whatever. There's some screaming.
Here, I'm
Slows down.
gonna find it. Here it is.
Yep.
when the sea rises up to swallow you.
I love it.
The wind so cold it hollows you.
We don't get like full scream mic too often.
No.
Ooh, and this little bass line that follows. I love this song.
Yeah.
Yeah, more Stevie. Yeah, the video, like you said, is this cool black and white video of them playing at Monkey Trench, right?
Yeah.
Or their practice space or whatever.
Yeah, they're I think it's, yeah.
Is it the same thing? I don't know. I'm sure people know the answer to this.
I don't know. So, wait, does Steve Edgerton do Far Away?
Yeah, that opening.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know that.
I believe so. I hope I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're dumping on Tom for his
No, I had read that there were 2 songs that he plays on. And this is one of them, and it definitely
Okay.
sounds like that.
Yeah.
Bad Religion-y
Oh God, Bad Religion.
stuff.
Love them so much.
Should we start our Bad Religion pod after this one?
Yes.
That's a lot of albums.
Pod Religion.
Now we have to do it.
Okay. So, just a few more songs here. Do you have anything else you want to say about Far Away?
No.
All right.
I know that you love someone else now. I try to forget you, then I forget how. I can better hear them play your song. The days are empty and oh so long. Tear me apart, cast down my heart. Tear me apart, cast down my heart. What's the use in trying?
Thoughts? Fine.
It's all right.
I wrote fine.
It's fine.
Could probably lose this one.
I like the chorus.
Yeah.
I
don't
like the
dislike
little
it.
guitar line.
Yeah.
That's kind of all
Yep.
I have to say about it. There's nothing. It's fine. It's good.
Still in that same territory of kind of the darkness, but
Yeah.
trying to look out.
This is like Panic 2.0.
It's Panic, but there does feel
it's like
a
with a little
hint
brush of nostalgia.
yeah. Panic feels pretty much like things are hopeless, and this is like things are rough, but we can do this kind of.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it does feel sort of like Panic is a definitely in your 20s album.
Yes, and this is a mid-30s
This is
album.
mid-30s album.
Yeah. Maybe that's
And-
why I like it so much.
Yeah, that might be it.
I would like my heart back, preferably in one piece. And if you lost it, the wonders never cease. I would like to go there, I'd like to leave it all behind. I'm not sure what the future holds, but what it is, I'll find. And no one be the same, I don't expect it to. It's hard to welcome change when it comes to you. When it comes to you, I can't ignore. When it comes to you, my heart is sore. When heaven means a whole lot of nothing.
When it comes to you,
We entered Mike's emo corner.
we sure did. That's the
There's-
first line, isn't it? I would like my heart back,
I would like my
preferably
heart-
in one piece.
Yes.
That is peak emo.
That is, I mean, there's some pretty solid emo moments
yeah,
on
there-
this record, but I would like my heart back, preferably in one piece.
That's like one step removed from Flesh Marks on My Heart. Pretty close.
that is pretty close.
It's another one that's like, that's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, this is I honestly feel like Far Away is the sort of the shining part of the shining song on the B side.
Side B. I really like the last two songs.
Okay, that's fair.
I wanna be the person you can talk to. But talking's not the easy thing to do. Our lives are full of so many distractions, inactions. How on earth could we be bored when there's so much to do? I wanna see your insides on the app. I wanna know the things you think about, like what you've been through, what you plan to do. We all got scars, so tell me who you really are.
See, this is probably in my top 5.
Really?
Yeah, I really like it a lot.
So this to me has a lot of no use for name influence.
Yeah, I guess
where it's like, how many chord changes
I like that though.
can we fit into a song?
It's cool.
But to what degree, in my view, do they do it successfully?
Sure.
I feel like there's some jarring
But it's
melody
fun.
chord changes that I'm just like, did that work?
I like that they're going for it though, because I feel like that's something we talked a lot about. Kind of like slowly to me, when I think about that record, it feels like different parts and they're trying stuff. And then there was a lot of records in a row for me where it's kind of like felt a little by the book. And so I like that this one, there's some surprising chord progressions again.
The part where he goes, when he does the "We All Got Scars," that change,
That one is
It-
the bummer for me.
it's like, oh, it
We all got- yeah, it slows
but then
down.
there's like the at the end to
So tell me who you really. We all got scars, so tell
Yeah.
me who you really
Also, shout out for the lyric, I'm your registrar. Like, okay, back to higher ed here, I guess.
yeah.
No, I really like the harmonies. The like, that sounds so cool to me. It sounds.
It's-
The opening is like that old school kind of driving MxPx that I like. I don't know. I really like this one.
It's yeah.
The song is Inside Out, by the way. I don't know if we ever said that.
Yeah, we didn't say that. Yeah, we did not. Inside Out. Yeah, it loses me.
Yeah,
It's-
I can see that.
Yeah,
That's like, is this life in general? What are we doing here?
it sounds great, but then
It definitely
just-
goes a different direction.
it goes
but-
in a different direction.
See, I feel like there's a lot, especially on, I think Secret Weapon, I said this a few times, where it starts out super promising for me, and then the direction it goes in, just kind of like, eh. Whereas this, like, goes in a way I wasn't expecting, but I like it. I'm, like, surprised by, like, oh,
Yeah.
that's an interesting choice. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, this is not an album where I feel like there's not even the songs on here that are not my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't dislike
Yeah.
as much as any song on Secret Weapon.
Yeah.
Because there's some bummers of songs on
Yeah.
Secret Weapon, but this album, nothing even comes close to, like,
No.
for the most part on this album, a song that my least favorite song, my reaction is, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's not all far away.
Right.
You know, it's not all just like, yeah.
The fact that, like, 9 albums in, though, you can release one that doesn't have any bad songs is, like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I am curious what people are gonna say there,
Yeah.
what they think about, because I have had some feedback from people that are like, yeah, I really like this album.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I am curious what people's top threes are gonna be,
Yeah. Yeah.
because if you and I are syncing up
Yeah.
with two out of three, I think that's
Yeah.
That's interesting because we don't always agree.
Right.
That's a what's that song?
I was going to try to go for... I'm not here to make you all agree.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. There we go. And this is the last song. Nothing's gonna change. Track 13. Very different.
Yeah.
You know what you want, you know what you want, but you can't seem to make it happen. So figure it out, figure it out. East met west with big surprises. Nothing's gonna change when you get sickness of the spirit and it's constant infection. Nothing's gonna change unless you change yourself better to a new direction. With everyone deciding to define you in one short paragraph, and if you're lucky to, this is your affliction, this is your addiction. Hysteria is crushing you. Just look at the world, look at the world, as if for the first time in your life. Discover yourself, discover yourself.
I like it a lot.
I like it.
Okay.
I think it was a. This is a way in like taking a risk versus
Yeah.
Inside Out,
Sure.
which I feel like this is a unique sound.
Yeah. And they pull it off.
And a different kind of an album closer.
Yeah.
Especially like those sort of like last
Yeah.
few seconds where it's
Just drums.
Nothing's gonna
Yeah.
change. Nothing's gonna change.
Yeah. I think it's cool.
yeah.
I like it.
I think that's
I just heard a little Life in General there. I gotta
yeah.
say.
We'll move to Bremerton. It automatically is like, oh, you're done with plans. Let's go back to Life in General.
Yeah, the ending is cool. I had in my notes like strong enough for a closer ? Because like we've talked a lot about how often their albums will end with these kind of like soaring, like leaving you going into the distance things, and this kind of does do that. Like it's an interesting variation on that. But it's definitely unique. Like that drum part goes on a long time.
It does, and I think I like it.
It's a cool kind of statement. Just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I mean,
This is it.
Is it better than tightly wound, going round, going round?
No, it's not.
I'm glad it's not. And this is, it's also album closer, first pseudo spiritual kind of, because nothing's gonna change when you've got sickness of the spirit and it's caused an infection. So I'm wondering, and then it says, these ethics by numbers don't add up at all. So it's kind of like it's the first sort of spiritual philosophical
Yeah.
kind of song, at least in my view.
That's certainly philosophical. I mean, it's interesting that this charted on the Christian chart because I feel like they're pretty much done with that at this point. Like,
Yeah.
Lyrically, there's certainly nothing explicit, and I think Mike has kind of said by this point he was pretty much out on the whole thing. But yeah, interesting stuff. Should we hit any B-side? I'm having trouble tonight for some reason. B-sides or
Beal?
bonus tracks?
Some Beelzebubs?
I don't even know what I'm saying.
Some Beelzebubs?
Can we hit some Beelzebubs real quick?
All right, what's see? What see? I'm not even talking.
It's been a long night, guys.
It's been a long. It's been a while. Okay, so shout out to Daniel Starrett hooking us up once again in 2 eps. Such a bro, hooking us up with an Australian bonus track, which we have at least we have some Australian listeners.
Mm-hmm.
So I am genuinely curious what the punk scene is like in Australia.
Living End, shout out.
Yeah, some
Frenzal
Ram, our boys Frenzal Ram. So yeah, I honestly know very, very little about Australia. So
I went there in 2012. I should have mentioned that.
What?
Yeah, sorry.
What? Oh, okay. So before we get to the A Different Life bonus track,
Yes.
let's hear what took you to Australia. And I want you to know, all of our Australian listeners, that I'm actively resisting doing a terrible accent because I'm better than that.
I may not be.
I'm
We'll see what
not
happens.
better than that, but I don't want to be that guy.
It was really hard to not start like having it slip into my dialect by the end of the couple weeks we spent there, because it was just like.
Was it you and Jenny?
Yeah, we went together. And it's also really hard to not say cheers to everything, because it's just like a universal like cheers.
Sure.
No, I've always been obsessed with Australia, actually. I've
Really?
loved it since I was a little kid. I think it's so cool. All the animals is, I think, what attracted me when I was little.
Poodoo? Did you see the poodoo while you were down there?
I think we did.
Like the sort of tiny deer.
Yes.
Like the most adorable little.
We did see. We held koalas, pet some kangaroos, swam in the Great Barrier Reef. It was pretty great. No, I've always been super into it, and we'd never really done like an international trip, and so we went there. I have some friends who live there too, so we got to stay with them. They have like a family cabin in the Blue Mountains, which was rad. So anyway, shout out Australia. I love it there, and I love our Australian listeners.
I think I was mistaken. I meant not the poodoo. I meant the quokka.
Oh, what's the poodoo?
The poodoo is the
South America.
South American.
Yeah, I was like.
So the quokka is the these happy little bastards.
Oh, I don't know that we saw.
I think they're also marsupials.
Yeah.
Like the koala, but they look like really happy little guys.
Yeah.
The poodoo I mistook for the quokka. It's like a
Common mistake.
Common mistake.
Yeah.
It's like a South American tiny deer, but they're also super adorable.
Who among us has not confused the quokka for a poodoo in our lives?
It's a daily struggle.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yep.
Australia.
You crazy.
We love you and appreciate you, and you get tracks we don't get. So here's one of them. Oop, let me turn that up.
That's a different life, another story, a separate sort of category, somewhere else in another time, walking separate planes and drawing different lines. Time well spent is still the best, living every day like it's my last.
A different life. I like it.
Life. Yeah.
I don't know if I need it on the album, but
No.
I probably like it more than a couple of songs.
I would swap it with Lucky Guy.
Yeah, I would do that.
And what was
The B-side of the Screw Loose single was Despise,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool.
Okay, which is this jam.
I got no sympathy. We don't have to agree. 'Cause I'm not you and you're not me. So please just go away. I don't wanna buy your life. Just leave me alone and I'll be fine. Like coffee, like my dreams. Taste bitter but fuels me. I feel the rage inside me rise. I've been so vilified that I despise. I despise. I can tell you what I really think. That would only make things worse. Some call it a blessing, I call it.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah,
It's kind of
It's-
cool.
it doesn't fit on this album.
No, but I mean, it fits with Screw Loose. Kind of that
Yeah.
hardcore
Yeah,
vibe.
Like coffee, like my dreams. Taste bitter but fuels me. I feel the rage inside me rise. Each time I'm vilified.
Kind of cool.
yeah. I'm into it.
Anyway, those are the plans.
Those are the plans and the plans within them.
Yep. We like it.
We like it. Yeah, that I feel like I didn't have as many hard and fast opinions on that
Yeah.
record.
No.
Which is it's not it doesn't reach the peaks of something like Panic or, some of their earlier records for me,
Right.
but I still think
Still
it's
pretty good.
still super strong effort.
Yeah. Let us know what you think. Everyone.
Yeah, we will be talking about it with you guys soon, hopefully.
Yep.
And so hit us up on the socials.
Yep.
Instagram, Twitter. You can find us on iTunes. Rate, review.
Yep.
Leave us a 5-star if you really enjoy the pod. We'd appreciate it. Stitcher, Google. You already listen to
two.
us, so you know where
Wherever you get your podcast.
wherever we get your
Mostly.
podcasts, most of them at least. So next week we will be talking about. Am I stumping on your stumping on your outro?
Well, I mean, as you're saying, next episode we'll cover Let It Happen, and then it'll be time for a podcast at our house. And it wouldn't be the same without you. So join us, won't you?